Good evening, everybody. It's Mothra here with YoMoBoYo, and we're going to do a tour of his builds at SkyMason Base. Hope you all are doing well.
Hello.
Anyway, YoMoBoYo, are you hearing
Yes.
me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes. Awesome. Yeah, in the
Sweet.
stream, let me know if anything's wrong with the audio levels, and I'll try to fix it. I did try to get it evened up before. Anyway, YoMoBoYo. Can I just call you Yomo? How do you like to go?
Yeah, perfect. Everyone calls me Yomo, so that works out really well.
Cool. Well, first of all, how are you? Having a good night?
Yeah, I'm doing well. A little tired, but doing well. Excited to show off some of these builds. I think I've built 3 solo and 3 group builds.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
I guess before we get started, for everybody, we're at Sky Mason Base, which is easily the most epic base on 2B2T. We are filming
True.
live. I have an extended render distance on courtesy of Bobby and a lot of crazy mods, so hopefully you'll have a good view during the tour. But do you just want to maybe, before we get started, tell us a little bit about like your story, how you got involved with 2B and how you ended up at this base?
Yeah, I started playing Minecraft like a year ago, and then I got into 2B because I thought 2B sounded cool, and then I found it was a really good building community, and so started building, and here I am.
Well, that's cool. Were you into like any other kind of sandbox games before Minecraft, or I don't know? I'm
No,
just kind of impressive that you would go in 1 year to joining, ending up at this base and some of your ridiculous builds. I'm quite impressed, I have to say.
No. I mean, I've always been artistic, but like when it comes to like video games, I wasn't much of a gamer until COVID. So I didn't. I played some phone games. That was about it. But yeah, here I am.
Fair enough. Um, all right. Well, I guess I'll kind of leave it to you to direct like where we go first, and just kind of tell
Okay.
me what you want to talk about. So
Do
I
you
can.
do you know where the wooden blimp is?
Yes, it is this way. Here, follow me.
Okay. So we'll head there first.
Yep.
And this was the first build that I helped build. This is X-Ray Essays design, and then we kind of came through and we finished it together. So it's kind of hard to get inside. But if you get inside, that's where it gets kind of really technical. It took X-Ray about 5 years to build this whole thing.
Wait, 5 years
And
to design it? You mean, or
yeah, yeah. So like he's for 5 years he's been like on and off building this thing. And so half of this thing was empty when we started, and I helped him out for some of this back part right here. This was all empty. And then
okay?
he also made it for 1.18, so a lot of stuff that he wanted to use, he couldn't. And so we made this whole thing, and yeah, this is the inside of the blimp. It's got a full area of living quarters and a sorting station in there. There's a giant fox if you free cam up that is chained up by floating anvils, which is cool.
Uh, where is it? Oh, I see it. Okay, it's made out of stone. That's
It
clever.
is, yeah, yeah.
Is that
And
a
so,
reference to anything in particular?
yeah, X-Ray has you'd have to ask X about it, but it is a reference to one of his other builds.
I see. Well, that's
Maybe you can
cool.
get him on one of the next upcoming ones.
Definitely. So you said that you, I mean, obviously, 2B is not on 1.18. Do you have any plans
Hmm.
to change stuff to add those blocks in when they become available, or
Yeah, I would bet you if this goes to 1.18, all of these trapdoors become spruce trapdoors, courtesy of X-Ray,
ah,
because
nice,
he loves those spruce trapdoors.
cool.
The
And how did you
these
like?
were all
How did you
good.
build this? Was it all done like through automation or hand placing, or
It was all hand placing, so we built it on a creative server, and then when we came over here, we built it layer by layer using Schematica.
got it?
And so it took, I think, just under a week to get it back or to get it on 2B. But designing it probably took 2 weeks for me, and then again 5 years for X-Ray. So it's a build that took a while to get completely done.
Well, that's pretty epic. I
Yeah.
love all the details back here with like the propellers. and
Mm-hmm.
drive shafts and stuff. A lot of attention to detail. I guess if it took 5 years, like, you would expect that, but it's still
Yeah.
impressive.
And and one of the things too, like if you free cam to the top, you'll see this kind of wooden trapdoor looking thing. And so when we put the fox in here for it, we wanted a way for the fox to get in the blimp and get out. So we had to think of ways that this whole thing would work. And we're like, well, what if there was some sort of garage door type thing at the top on the roof that would let the fox in? And so, yeah, that was added in later. A lot of this stuff, we'd think of how all the mechanics of everything would work, what the society, the people were. That was all into every little detail here.
That's very clever. Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, it was fun.
So do you
Um,
know? I mean, you didn't design this yourself, but like, do you have any of the backstory about the society or what how this was designed?
they're explorers, but they're also a little like colonistic. So like obviously they kidnapped this fox or enchained this fox from another land, and so they're taking it from another land here to Sky. And so they're also exploring Sky. And if you come out over here, you can see that they have these little mini zeppelins that they use to kind of scout out. And we're standing on one right
I
now.
see. Yeah.
And even if you go to the second part of the build, which I built this lighthouse, this zeppelin parks here. And this lighthouse was designed, I mean, X-Ray gave me a bunch of uh, very specific drawings. And we made this lighthouse. We made this idea of this lighthouse being here, that it had to have a place to dock for the blimp. And then the island beneath was created by X-Ray and Harrison. And so they kind of designed this whole thing. And if we make our way into the lighthouse, go ahead and just drop down. There is a little house in here. It's one of my proudest interiors because I suck at interiors normally. But I feel like I did a pretty decent job with this one. And it's got a little area right here.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yeah, the story of this whole thing is that some dude is on an island and it gets pulled into the sky. And this was, just like a normal lighthouse. And it was dragged into the sky. And he didn't have food or water, so he starved here. And then now these guys are exploring this island as they got to Sky.
I see. And so are these quarters for like the lighthouse keeper, or did that guy become the lighthouse keeper and build this island, or what happened?
Yeah, so he was the lighthouse keeper, and then he this is where his quarters were. And there's actually a book. Like if you go over to like the books near the room we started in, um, there's like a bunch of books that have details on it. And I think there's like a poem that describes it. But basically, he was here. He was a lighthouse guy. The island, the gravitational pull of Sky pulled this island in, and he got stuck here. But he didn't have a way to get food or water, and he didn't have a form of flight.
I
So
see.
he
So it, like,
just
ripped the island out of the ground or something.
exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
And
then
this this
you said that this came from drawings. Does X-Ray like draw out on paper his ideas first, or?
sometimes. So sometimes what we'll do is we'll grab, I don't know, we'll go online and we'll get 50 different reference pictures that we just go, I like the look of this. I like the feel of this. How can we make this in Minecraft? And then we kind of whittle it down even more. And then even sometimes X-Ray's really good with Blender. He'll make a 3D render of something. And he'll even draw stuff from time to time as well. But yeah, normally we'll just find stuff online that we like the look of it, and then we'll try to recreate it as best we can with blocks.
That's awesome. That's like far more involved and lore friendly than anything I've ever built. So I'm really impressed that you've put in that level of dedication. It's
Yeah,
not
thanks,
just a
man.
build, but it's also like a story, which is really cool.
Well, and it's and each build is different. Like this next one we'll go to, which will be in the northwest spot. It's a sand part. Well, why don't we make our way over there while I'm
All right,
talking about it?
here, I'll follow you.
Uh, so this one I built solo. Um, Entropy just wanted a sand build. So I was like, "Yeah, I want to build a sand build." So, I started building something. And I built this kind of sand Tatooine looking type thing. And this one came purely out of my mind. There was no reference image. I kind of just had this idea of making a specific type of building pop in my mind. And be careful because this one's not really well lit up.
Got it. Well,
But
try not to blow up any creepers.
yeah. Yeah, but this one, if you go to, the front of this I started with this building. I just wanted to make something sharp and cool. And then I thought, hey, it needs a building behind it. Hey, it needs two buildings on the side. Hey, it needs a bridge on those buildings to kind of tie things together. And then once I showed it to everyone was like, it looks like Star Wars. So we made a Sarlacc pit. SMCZ made these ships here. And yeah, that's kind of the story. So it became a Star Wars build, even though it originally wasn't intended as one. And the idea was that this is just a market, a desert market. If you go inside, you can kind of see it. We can just jump through here if you'd like.
So
And
these are
the
like
idea,
stalls where people could sell goods.
yeah, yeah.
Got
And
rockets,
when I built it, I
gavels.
was hoping that maybe people would come through and make their own stalls. And so like everyone who builds at Sky could just have their own place. And as you can see, a few people have gone through and made their own little things. And so, yeah, that's
Well, that's cool.
the idea of this build.
I definitely will have to build something here. I didn't realize it was open for that.
Yeah, please do, please do. There is also a cactus farm hidden in here. I enjoy putting farms in some of my builds.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, if we go over here, you can go into these little areas, and you'll see down here, this is an Il Mango cactus design, but I think it's only one layer compared to you can stack it as high as you like. And then
That's
all
awesome.
that water goes into the other one. So these towers are actually functional for something as well.
Sweet. Cool. And I noticed over in this direction there were these like little huts, which I assume are sort of like the place where Anakin grew up, kind of embedded in the wall. Is that the inspiration for that?
Yeah, yeah. It was after hearing Star Wars, I started Googling Star Wars, and it turns out that Tatooine was actually based off of a real life town
Oh,
in Tatooine called Tatooine. And a lot of the buildings actually looked like this. So these are modeled after the real version of what Tatooine was based off of.
interesting. And is that do you
Yeah,
know like what country that's in? Is it in like,
I could not tell you. I know it's
okay.
in the Near East. I have
So
no
not
idea.
Tunisia, because they filmed a lot of that in Tunisia, but that would be Africa. Interesting.
You know, it might have been Africa. I don't know.
Huh.
I'm just kind of talking out of my, at the moment.
Fair enough. Well, this is cool, and I'm impressed. You said SMCZ built these spaceships.
Yeah, so I was watching The Mandalorian. I'm not a Star Wars guy, but I thought The Mandalorian was super cool. And he had this new spaceship in The Mandalorian, and I was like, SMCZ, can you build this? And he goes, yeah. A day later, he showed up with this ship, and it's so cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then he also built some over here as well. And so we just kind of filled it, sparkled them in there. It was yeah, a good collaboration.
And I'm curious, did you freehand this whole island, or did you design it using? I know Entropy has a tool whose name I
Oh,
forget to like design
yeah.
terrain. I'm just curious if you use that.
So yeah, this was completely flat. I suck at terrain, and Entropy is amazing at terrain. So I said, Entropy, help, 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 help. And then he
Huh.
did it for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, he is quite skilled.
He's so talented,
He has some
truly.
crazy projects, I think, in the work where he uses some terrain gen and like sliced it up and recombined it into this like ridiculous I shattered terrain build that he's gonna build. I can't do it justice.
Oh, I'm so excited for that. I
For
love
sure.
Entropy. Entropy is such a good builder. Like not only just Train, but all of his builds are so good. I love them. Okay, so would you like to move to the next one?
Sure.
So let me think. The next one would be the Venice Build, behind the room we started in.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I lived in Venice for three months, and I kind of just felt a little, I don't know, not homesick, because I can't really call it my home, but I ended up making it Minecraft because I was kind of, missing it. I was missing where I was at. And that's the start of this build.
Here we go. Yeah, I haven't spent months in Venice, but I have visited once or twice, and it's a beautiful city. So
It is. It is.
Cool job of kind of representing it in Minecraft.
Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, this one was a fun build. It was originally built on 1.18, so I had to transfer a lot of the blocks over. Entropy helped me with the island again. I chose this weird color for it, to have the mycelium kind of come out of the purple and the browns at the bottom. And then yeah, I really just had fun building this thing. If you look at all the shops are like my friends, whether they're at Sky or not at Sky. That I just made them a little shop.
Toilet reading. Okay, I want to know what
Yeah.
that means.
Hovix is known for his poop jokes. And,
Oh,
he wanted something with the magazine stand. He goes, "Make it toilet reading." And I was like, "Dude, you're like perfect."
Is that
yeah.
It's like talking like tea leaf reading, but you like read people's shits or something? Is that the idea?
Yeah, maybe you'd have to ask him. But
Fair
anywhere
enough.
he goes, he'll make an outhouse, and he'll just sit in it. And so if you ever see him on stream, he'll do that on your stream.
Interesting. Very
Yeah.
suspect.
Definitely. But yeah, this is a gelateria. There's a pizzeria here. Everything Italian. Um, I tried to kind of put here, and give a shout out to my friends, which is, yeah, it's fun. And this one was originally all built by hand. I think this one took me 3 weeks to design, and then on Tubi it probably took me a week to put it on a Tubi.
Cool. And I think I saw when exploring there was like an underground boat area.
Oh yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
curious if you
So
could show that off.
if you go into the rules off hotel, actually let's go into this entrance. You go here and down here, and there's this little canal. Crazy story. When I was in Venice, I snuck onto a boat to get onto one of the side islands.
Okay.
To go into the side island, and I pretended to be part of this big hotel, and it was like one of those 5-star hotels, and I was like, "Hey, how do I get to the spa?" And they just pointed at this boat, and this dude who didn't speak in English just drove me to the other island, and I didn't go to the spa, and I just got to explore this other cool island for free. And this is what
That's awesome.
the inside of that looked like. So yeah, this hotel is an homage to the time I snuck onto a boat in Venice. And if you go back here, there's some greenery, which isn't common in Venice, but I thought it looked cool. I think I stole this design from Crowbar. He has this at Whitehaven.
Awesome.
And I thought it looked
Crowbar
cool,
is definitely a good person to steal stuff from because he's
Truly.
quite amazing as a designer.
Yeah, I'm very inspired by his builds, for sure. But yeah, this is, I think this is probably the whole story. X-Ray helped me build a lot of this one, or at least finish a lot of this stuff when it comes to transferring it from 1.18 to 1.12.2. So he has his own spruce shop. He builds everything with spruce, so I thought it was fitting that he would have the spruce shop.
I assume he's also gonna change all of the trapdoors to spruce as soon as 1.18 arrives.
Surely he will, yeah.
Nice.
I think many of these would be probably even look better with like some of the nether trapdoors, just because they would look good having the holes in them, the greens, because there's a lot of green trapdoors in Venice, actual Venice.
We have a soggy ass cellar down here.
You'd have to ask Harrison why that's there. I don't even know if he knows why. You'd have to ask P5 why that's there.
Hmm.
But yeah, you know, whenever this ends up being public, people can explore it and see all the inside jokes, which I think is fun as a builder to leave behind. So yeah.
Definitely.
So this one is my latest one.
This
This
giant,
is
huge thing in front of us right now.
yes, yes,
I've
yes.
been watching this go up, and yeah, you'll have to tell me what it is. I'm interested.
It is a futuristic city. Um, the fun part about this is these bottom things, where you know these jets are in each corner, and they kind of blow in each corner to keep it stabilized, and it has this middle weighted part, so it doesn't just swing all over. And you can kind of see as you fly up here, up into the sky, you'll see that there's some towers in here, and that's why it needs to be weighted. And every single one of these buildings has a farm in them, different kinds. Most of them work on 2B, um, as well as can be expected. But yeah, it was a lot of fun building this, putting farms in here. It's a what's it called? Art Deco design for a lot of the buildings. And then I thought most futuristic builds are done in this way where it kind of looks just like so distant from us. But a lot of the buildings we'd still have would be in existence in the future. So I wanted it to have part modern, part futuristic, and I made this build kind of that way.
It kind of gives me like a Ghostbusters vibe in terms of the central
Yeah.
building. And was that so? I thought at some point when I looked at this that this might be a reference to like either well, maybe to the Empire State Building. Is that what it's referring to, or just like Art Deco more generally?
It is a building in New York. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay,
Um,
I thought it looked
or
familiar.
yeah, I remember looking at a building going, all right, how do I make it kind of look like this one? But I don't think it was the Empire State. But it was an Art Deco one in New York as well.
Maybe the Chrysler Building.
Could be the Chrysler Building.
I don't know.
I
I
know
don't
I
live in
looked
New
at the
York,
Chrysler
so
Building. Yeah, yeah. The Chrysler Building is a beautiful building. One of the most beautiful Art Deco designs as well. So
and then these
you're not wrong to call it out.
nice. And then these bridges or these like I guess bridges along the side kind of remind me of the London Bridge a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Especially when you look at the clock tower,
Yeah.
um, and that was kind of considered in that. Um, yeah. And then there's this little monorail that goes through it, and these flying cars. Um, there's also a red light district.
Ooh, we got to check that out.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like Nick's stripper place,
yeah.
his
Exactly,
gentleman's club.
exactly.
Definitely one of the more fun parts of SkyMasons.
If there is in the future there will probably be added other things into these windows, but right now I just have witches.
Witches
And
and
if
hoes.
you say again,
Witches and hoes.
yeah, witches knows exactly. And then there's a place to have a show here, um, as you can see.
Oh, did you? Okay, I will have to go and make a redstone circuit that automates this at some point.
All right, perfect,
Did
perfect.
you see my world corner build that did exactly that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'll send you a link. That yes, I
Okay.
can build a little circuit that'll make it go back and forth repeatedly.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. There, so like over here, like I incorporated an actual. This was supposed to be like a love hotel, but if you go into here, you'll see that it's also a farm, and you can go into here. So like half of it's aesthetic, half of it is farm. You know, this is another wort farm in here. Here is
I
just
see.
a smelter. And so it was a lot of fun to build all this stuff, to choose everything in here, make a society. I wanted to make like a hyper capitalistic society that didn't really care about politics. There's a quote that was kings and queens are no longer in charge, but I'm butchering the quote, but it's like are no longer in charge, but companies are. And I wanted to take that to the extreme with this whole thing. So I made this giant building here. There was a farm, and then I made the red light district and all of that.
Are these must be like cars or something? Food trucks?
Yeah, food trucks.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
in the day, these flip up. If
Oh, do you
I
have
just
you have like a daylight sensor? That's amazing.
yeah.
Dude, the level of detail that you've put in, I'm blown away.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun coming up with new things every time. Yeah, I'm proud of this creeper farm in here, because it actually somewhat works on Tubi. It's got 2 stacks of gunpowder, and it's only been running a couple days.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
impressive.
and yeah, the sides have different stuff in them. There's a homeless camp in there. I debated on the homeless camp because I thought hyper-capitalistic society, would they allow the homeless people to live? And I wasn't sure about it, but I decided to anyway, just because I didn't know what else to fill it with.
Well, they're allowed to live in order to show the middle class people what will happen to them if they don't conform to
Oh, that's a good
capitalist
idea.
society.
Yeah. Just that peer pressure.
Exactly.
The other thing about this build is there on the sides, it says a quote by Benjamin Franklin that almost uh, that almost looks like or almost sounds it sounds different than what you would think would be. But Benjamin Franklin wanted the quote for America to be "Mind your business," and he kind of wanted it to be "Tend to your business," and it would be on our coins. Or the first coin ever minted in the U.S. was "Mind your business." And I love the idea of the hyper-capitalistic quote to be "mind your business." So if you free cam down there, you can kind of see a mind and you'll see business
Yeah.
and Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah, I went around and showed it off in stream.
Oh, perfect.
Is that like a reference to running a business, or is it also a reference to mind your own business in a kind of anarchistic sort of way?
I think it's a reference to running a business. I don't think
Okay.
it had the same connotations back in the day, but I like that it does now, and I incorporated the double entendre there.
Interesting.
And then finally, we've got one last build, which I helped P5 with, and that's this PvP arena. And so we've got this PvP arena. I helped build some of these little buildings in here, specifically on this side. And even in the PvP arena, we thought about lore of how this island got here, and 2 rival cities that were barbaric, and now this is used as a training ground by Sky people. And so that's a lot of fun.
Has this actually been used for PvP before?
Yeah. So in fact, we can do it right now if you'd like.
Yeah.
But yeah, P5, I and a few of our friends, we played for hours in it with PvP. The rule is that you have what it gives you. So you have the armor. You gap beforehand, and you get 1 gap during. You get 1 totem, and after that, if you fall off, you die. But outside of that, it's just free for all fighting.
All right. Who's on Tulpa-chan right now?
I can check. It's silver.
Nice. Does he want to fight? Let's do a fight.
Yeah, you want to drag him in here?
Yep. One sec.
Hey,
Hey, Silver.
Hello.
Welcome to the stream. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Nice. Well, I hear you and Yomo are gonna fight.
Cool. Okay. So he's on 1,000? Okay. I'm gonna go on the other side.
Okay.
I would commentate, but I'm terrible at it. So
You
it would be
can just
very
get the
foolish.
angles with free cam and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're playing 3 gapples or 2 gapples? What?
So it's 1 gapple during, but you have 1 gapple beforehand.
Got it.
And then use the armor provided, so the chainmail.
Let me just fill up mine.
Oh, and also turn off
Oh yeah, let me
velocity.
turn off any hacks.
Yeah, I
Just
will
give me a
too.
minute.
Name tags, tracers, Turn off all that.
At first to pop, I guess.
To die. I mean, we can just kill each other, right?
Let's do it. Yeah, do it to the death for the viewers. They'll
Unless you
So
fall off
two-
the side. If you fall off the side, you're whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Eat a gap. Oh man. Oop. I think you've done this before.
This is much better than fit versus Rusher.
King Grossworth, Armor Smith.
Yeah, Falls Green says 0 combat skills.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I'm a builder. I'm not a fighter.
Same.
Exactly.
Hey, this map was actually made for you to win.
I mean, you're not wrong. I did make this map.
You know all the tricks.
I mean, the key is to not do what you're doing, which is a
Okay.
lot of this. Like, so you want to make sure your back is like here, so you don't get knocked off the island. I don't know what hack I have enabled, but for some reason it's just spamming the bow instead of actually shooting.
Maybe your mouse is double clicking by accident,
Could be.
or just 2B lag in general.
Oh, no. Ooh,
Did you see
was
that
a
move?
dangerous jump
nice little
right there.
hop.
I know.
I'm not following you because I'm scared of that.
All right, we got health down to 9 on Yomo. Might pop a totem soon.
Ow.
Pop the totem.
No.
Is that your only totem?
Yeah, that's my only
Uh-oh,
totem.
I think it's getting
Oh.
nice. And silver wins.
GG.
Again.
Well, yeah, so those are the builds that I've done and I've helped do. That one was built by P5. X-Ray SA helped with that one as well. In fact, X-Ray would help with a lot of advice at random points in any of my builds. So definitely shout out to him. But yeah, there's the tour.
Yeah, thank you, Yomo. That was awesome. And I guess
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, we're at it. Silver, do you want to show off anything?
No, thank you.
No? Okay.
Dude,
Fair
Silver,
enough.
show off that corner one.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
fine.
he's too embarrassed.
Okay, enjoy.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Later, dudes. I'm gonna get out of
Okay,
here.
Let me get back
Later.
up onto the Tulpa area. Well, I guess while I still have you, do you have any kind of like closing thoughts or like plans? Any previews for what you might be working on in the near future?
Yeah, I've got a pride castle. My brother is trans, and so I've got a kind of a castle to him. And so it's got like pride flags on it, and it's got trans flags on it, and it's gonna be beautiful. Kind of Disney World-esque.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And for a good cause.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure he would
So,
appreciate it.
yeah, I sent it to him. He was really honored. So I'm stoked to be building it, and that's gonna be my next one.
Well,
But yeah,
if
thanks again.
there's- Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, totally. I will keep you updated on the next build, and maybe we'll tour it again on a later date.
For sure. Yeah, thank you so much for showing me around you and X-Ray's builds. And
Totally.
I think I'll be stopping the stream now. And to the people asking in chat if you can get a world download, no world download, but when and if this does get blown up, it will of course be on the archive. Anyway, have a
Yep.
great evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Take care.